Time around we will be picking it up from where we stopped the last class. So I think the last time we did some little adjustments. So I'll be using the person that submitted assignments. I'll be using our own. So this time around, let's just move faster so that we can finish this phase. So we're having data standardization using the number formats. We've done the text and we've done a lot of things. We've done the validation. So this time around is just standardization in the numbers. And here we say it's also known as feature scaling, or we call it Z-score. It's also known as Z-score normalization. And this involves transforming the features of the dataset to have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. That is, you want it to be in the standard deviation and a mean of 0 and 1. So there's a process of transforming numeric data into a common scale. That is, when you have large data, you have large data, for example, let's say you have an outlier in a data that has, let's say you have a data that has 0, another one has 5, another one now has 1 million. Don't forget the 3, the 1 million is outlier, like is far, far, far behind. So it's just like you saying you want to standardize all the what's it called? You want to standardize all the numeric so that they can be you want to standardize all the numeric so that it can actually be it can be in 0 and 1. It can be in between 0 and 1. That's just it. So, and that is what we mean by data standardization for numbers. Now, why is it useful? It's useful so that we can have equal treatment of different units and also to prepare data for algorithms that rely on distance or scale. It improves interpretability in some models and charts. That is, you want to have equal treatment, or equal treatment. You want everything to be the same. They shouldn't be. It's not a problem. You want to have a different one entity. So now let's run some examples here. So now standardizing salary and years of experience. Standardizing salary and years of experience. Now, we will be using a data set in sheet 1. Okay, step 1, using the data set in sheet 2, class 1 Excel. Step 2, standardizing salary and years of experience, manual method using formulas and the like. So we'll be using this to run our standardization. But I actually want to just use or let me see. Let me bring the so that to avoid we repeating things. Let me see if I have it here. Let me see if I have it here so that we can use this sheet 2, sheet 3. Okay. I want to see if we can have it here. Okay, not here. Yeah. So this good. So let's just use this as an example. I will just, instead of me repeating it, I will just try as much as possible to copy. So let's use this as an example. So this was the example. Like we said here, using the data set in sheet 2 class 1 Excel, this data set, standardizing salary and years of experience. You can see we have salary and we have years of experience. We want to standardize it. Let's say we don't have this. Let me delete this. So, and okay, let me delete this. Let me delete this so that we can see it, how we go about that. Sorry, I believe you can see my screen. Kindly, someone should just unmute mic and respond so that I can move and communicating to you. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, let's proceed. Thank you. So now we have this kind of data set that has name, it has age, it has salary, it has years of experience. And let's say, for example, we are trying to, like we have in our slide I showed you, let's say you are trying to probably run an analysis between these two figures. Don't forget, this is larger than this. This is 2,515.8, and you're having in 5 zeros here. You're having in 5 zeros, 6 zeros here, and you're having just 1 year. So the major thing is we run a standardization for both. So let's follow our slide so that we can follow the steps. So here you say step 1, using the data set in sheet 2, class 1 Excel, standardizing salary and years of experience. Now we'll be using the manual method using formulas and also compute mean and standard deviation below the column. In cell, now we'll be using the manual method, which is the formula. Now in cell E7 for salary main, cell E7. Now you can see this is the reason is that you are going to create what we want to get here is that before you can run your standardization for all this, you need to have your mean and your standard deviation. That is, you need to create your mean for salary and standard deviation for salary so that you can have that with your mean. That's the only way you can run your standardization for it. So that's why you create a space which says in cell E7 for salary mean. That is, you create a space for salary mean, which we've done here. Mean salary, just have it here. The reason is that you will need a mean before you can get this. You need to run a calculation. That's what we want to do here. So now let's go to the business of the day. So now for salary mean, insert E7 to get the salary, the mean of this salary. You know your salary is on this. To get the mean, what do you do? After writing mean salary, that is so that you can have it stated here, then we run it using our formula and it's written down here. You can see we say average equals to average C2 and C6. That is the formula. So what to do is that to do that for our what's it called salary, what do we do? We say to get the mean, you get your mean for salary, you get your mean for years of experience because we are using these two. So what do we do? Equal to, you type average, equal to average, equal to average, equal to average, then in bracket, what is the average value we are using? We are using from salary, which is this for Amino to FA, so which is C2 down to C6. C2. Now, you know you are using a range of cell. To use a range of cell, what do you use? You use your, can you see this? What do we call this? Someone should tell me this. I don't want to say it. I want to know if you're following. Someone should tell me what is this symbol? What is this symbol? What is this symbol? I'm waiting. Somebody should tell me what the symbol is. You guys want me to call names? Hello? Someone should tell me what that symbol is. You don't know your punctuation marks? Eh? Column. Good. So you put in your column. Now, what a column is that column helps you in selecting range of cell. Don't forget, you want to get the mean value for everything, which means from C2 down to C6. So you use your column to bring everything together, which means C2. Next thing you'll have a person will be C6. So which means I'm using my column to get like this. What this means is that what this is insinuating is that I want to get the mean value for the salary where I have from Amina to Ife. Then you close your brackets, you press enter. So the main value for this is this. We've gotten this. Then same thing. Okay, let's do it for years of experience also. To get years of experience, same thing. Equal to, you put your average, equal to average in brackets. Now, Ibidun, what will I type? I want to do my main value for the years of experience. So yeah, give me, what am I going to press? I'm listening. Ibidun, Ibidun, you are wasting our time. We have a long way to go. Oh yeah. I want to get the main value for years of experience. So what will I press? And I've typed my equal to average. I want to, okay, D2, column, D6. Thank you. Good. So which means you close your bracket, you press enter. So we've gotten for this. Now the next one, after getting for the mean, you know we've done the mean. Now the next one is now for salary standard. This one is standard deviation, not standardization. This one is standard deviation. You still get your standard deviation. Now for standard deviation, you use the formula STDEV point P C2 to 66 to get your standard deviation for that. So what do we do? Same thing under you do your standard deviation for salary, standard deviation. We are still yet to get our what's it called? Uh let me get this off because we've done it. should I, oh sorry, let's do it this way so that it will be easier for you. Main salary, and let me just, I want to remove this so that, or let's do it this way, don't worry, to make it easier. Let's have main instead of main salary so that you understand that is for standard deviation, is for this and that. So let me just delete this. So you already know that when we are having mean, what I mean is that mean for salary is this, mean for years of experience is this. So now for the standard deviation, what are you going to type? You press equal to, you press your stdve dot p, stdev dot p. It means is that we have for P and we have for S. P means for population. You're working, let's say you're working for a particular population. S is for sample. You understand? So let's say you're working for entire population, giving an argument like an entire population. For sample now, if I use S, it means I'm using a particular sample out of a population. You understand? So I'm using a sample. Here I am, I'm using the entire population. So you put stdev.p. Now, you know the meaning of population and sample. Population means total, like something, the whole thing. Why sample is that I'm picking something from a whole, like we have these particular names now. It's just, okay, let's say for example, I want to pick Bayo and Chuku. Me picking Bayo and Chuku alone means they are sample, the out of the whole population. So that's the meaning. So you put your stdev.p. Now you run it for, we are running standard deviation for our what? For our salary. So what are we going to press for our salary? So it will be, let me do this while the next person will do the next one. We have C2 for our salary, C2 colon C6. Then we close our bracket, we have enter. So we've done for this also to get the standard deviation for our salary. So now, Fumbi. Okay, okay. Now repeating, let me just repeat it. So what we are doing here is I want to get, before we standardize, we need to get mean and we need to get standard deviation so that we can use the formula. We need those figures to get to use it for our formulas when we commence the standardization. So now to not get that, to get our, we've gotten our mean. Now to get the standard deviation, we are going to use, the reason is that I said we are using population. Population means total number of something, of a particular thing you want to use, entire thing you want to use. Now, sample is that when you are taking a particular thing, you are taking segments, you are taking parts of that population. That is sample. You understand? So now, to now get that, what do we do? You press equal to and you use std, that is standard deviation, ev dot p. This is for population. In brackets. In brackets, we are running it for, what is it called? We are running it for salary. So which means, what are we going to press? That will be C2. Oh, sorry. So we are running it for our salary. That will be what? C2 using column, that is range of cell. We're using a range of cell salary, C6, close brackets, then you have your enter. We've gotten that for salary. Now, Fumbi, how do I get a standard deviation for years of experience? Now let's go. Tell me what to press. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you. Very good. So we've gotten our mean and we've gotten our standard deviation for both. Now, the next thing is now to run our, we've done it for both. Now, the next thing is now to compute our Z-score. And I believe I told you what we mean by Z-score. Z-score means standardization. So the next thing is now to run our Z-score. To now do that, in column F, label as salary standard deviation. Label a particular segment so that even if you are running it for anybody, it's better you label so that anybody checking your work will be able to understand what you're trying to do. So you label as standardized, which means salary standardized, and also same thing for experience standardized, which is what we do. Then we now use our formula that says the formula is easy, which means C2 minus, I will explain this formula to you. I'll explain it to you now. So let's get that done. So now what we're trying to do here is that we want to do for our salary. We have it here labeled standard salary and standardization for YOE, which is year of experience. So now to run our formula to get the Z score is very easy. You type equal to, you write equal to, what do you have here? Equal to C2 in bracket C2. You do it separately for these alone. C2. That was, now if you check the slide, you will see dollar sign. You will see dollar sign. The reason for that dollar sign is that it helps you in referencing. For example, C2 alone, if I should drag this thing, it will move to C3. But if I should put dollar sign, now for example, C2 minus, I'm doing something, I'm using my main. Your main is that one. So now I don't want this main. Don't forget that this main now is constant. What did I mean by constant? Constant is something that you are not changing. Variable means something that will change, that varies. So this is constant, which is 30,000. The mean is constant. The standard deviation is constant. What I mean is that this mean is constant, this standard deviation is constant. They are not changing. The only change changing here is our column, which is this, the C2, this one and this one, they are the ones changing. So now, if you don't want a particular cell that you want to use, you don't want it to change, you want to use a constant cell, what do you use? You use your dollar sign. That is your dollar sign, then dollar sign first. What aspect don't you want to change? Everything, which means that cell. Now, you put your dollar sign, you put your C, then after that, you put your dollar sign and you put your 7, which means this is what I'm talking to. You observe it showed red. Then you close your bracket, divided by, don't forget your standard deviation for salary also is not changing, it's fixed. It's fixed, which is this, is fixed also. So what do? You still maintain using your dollar sign because it's not changing. So same formula, you have your dollar sign, you have your C, and you have your dollar sign again, then you put the place it's located. So if you check, you observe it has been selected also. You see, it has been selected. So after that, you press your enter. Now you can see this. This is the standard deviation. Don't forget, it did not exceed 1. It's still under 0 and 1. So, which means all the things we'll be getting will be between 0, will be between 1. There won't be nothing like 5,000. So that is what we are trying to do. So, same thing for standard deviation for year of experience. I will do for this, then someone will do for this, and another person will do for this. So now, to do for this, let me just repeat again. Same thing, equal to, now standard deviation for years of experience. Years of experience is different. So equal to, I open my bracket to say my years of experience is what? Equal to D2, sorry, D2 minus the fixed one, which is, I'll use my dollar sign D, dollar sign D 7, done, close bracket, divided by my dollar sign for my, what's it called, my standard deviation, and I have it under D dollar sign 8, enter. You have for this also. You have for this also. So now, Ibidu, do it for the next one before we autofill. Let's do standard. We want to get the standardization, the Z score for salary. What do we do? Let's go. Is this C3 I'm going to press first? Okay, equal to, okay, C3 minus, okay, dollars, yeah, okay, dollars, 7, okay, close bracket, divided by dollars C dollars again. Okay, yeah, 8. Good, thank you. So you can see we still have here. Now, do you observe it did not exceed the 0 and 1? It's still on 1 point something, 0 point something. This is minus, minus, minus. So now, Fumbi, over to you. Let's have you. We want to get our Z score for years of experience. How do we do that? Fumbi, we are waiting. Is it bracket first? Equal to, okay, okay. Is it D2? Okay, minus dollar sign D dollar sign okay, E, uh-huh. Are you sure it's E? You guys don't need to cram. What we are doing is equal to the numbers minus mean divided by standard deviation. That is the formula. So E what? Is it E or D? Where do you have your mean for years of experience? Where do you have it located? Where do you have your mean, the figure for your mean for years of experience? Eh? Are you sure it's C? I told you this one is for salary and this one is for years of experience. Your mind is not here. D what? Dollar sign 7. What else? Should I put divided by here like this? Will it work out? Your mind wasn't here. Is it slash immediately? Won't you close your bracket before putting slash? You did not know. I said it. Then after that, okay, dollar sign D dollar sign. Are you sure? Is our standard deviation under 7? Next time your mind is not here, I will give you 1,000 data entry to input. Enter. So you can all see we have all these. So what are we going to do when we are done? We just autofill. We just drag down to autofill. It's automatically filling everything. And with this now, we've standardized all these formats. So you can see it's easier for us to do anything with both because there's no outlier, there's nothing. So we can run analysis on both because they are standardized already. So when you're having figures like that, you observe they're extremely high to each other, then try to standardize, but always state it in your report that you run a standardization so that they can actually know that was what you did. Is there any question on that? So now, so let me ask you guys a simple question now. Are you there with me? Okay, so now, so you will fill in the gap. Look at this thing very well in 1 minute. Look at it very well. Look at it very well. You can see, look at it very well. So now let's go. Now, a Z score of dash in salary for Amina. What is the Z score of the salary for Amina? Z score for dash in salary of what? What is the figure here for Amina? A Z score of what? Fumbi, a Z score of what? Fumbi, we want to fill in this. What is another name for Z score? I told you another name for Z score is what? Standardization. That's another name. Good. So then I said a Z score of dash in salary. Fill in the gap. A Z score of what in salary? Check. A Z for Amina. A Z score. What is the Z score for Amina here? What is the Z score for Amina? You have less than 30 seconds. Minus what? Good. That is the answer. So which means the Z score of minus 1.399 in salary for Amina means she earns dash standard deviations below the average salary in this data set. So now, which means she earns dash standard deviation. So now, Ibidun, fill in the gap. She earns dash standard deviation. What is the value? What is the value? That means she earns what standard deviation? What's the standard deviation? Ibidun. So what is the standard deviation? Fill in that gap? We said a Z score of minus 1.399 in salary for Amina means she earns dash standard deviation below the average salary in this data set. So what is the standard deviation value here? You have less than 20 seconds. Are you sure it's 4 points? In Naira, is it 4 points? Standard deviation for salary. For salary, madam, for salary. How much is that? Now, this is the question we are filling in. Let me repeat. A Z score of, Fumbi said, a Z score of minus 1.33 blah 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 in salary for Amina means she earns dash naira standard deviation below the average salary in this data set. She earns dash standard deviation. So what is the value for standard deviation for salary here in naira? You are wasting our time. Be fast. Fumbi, do you know the answer? Will you be able to help your colleague out? We are team here. Huh? What do you say? Is in naira. How do you call it? Do you call it 235? 796. Good. Now, let me explain a bit. What that means is that the question says a Z score of dash. What do you mean by Z score? Z score means our what? Our standardized Z score for Amina is this 1 minus 1.399. And it says, it means she earns dash naira standard deviation below the average salary in the data set. What is the standard deviation for salary? This is the standard deviation for salary. Salary. Standard deviation for salary. This is the average, which means she earns this 23,000, 235,000 above average. That is the meaning of this. Is there any question? Can we proceed? Is there any question? Ibidun, do you get it? Fumbi, do you get it? Good. So that is about standardization. So now, quick one. We have data standardization frameworks. I gave you an assignment some other time, I think some few weeks ago, about to read about data wrangling and the like. So here we have data standardization frameworks. Number one, data wrangling. This involves when you hear, and these are one of the things you need to understand in case you find some jobs. So that when you see, okay, they said they are looking for someone that can help in data wrangling, you won't say, oh, I can't do the job. No, it's part of your skill. It's part of the skill of a data analyst. Data wrangling involves, number one, cleaning, structuring, and enriching raw data into a desired format for better decision making in less time. That is, what do you mean by that? When you clean data, column rearrangement, data structuring to a distinct format type, doing all those things, it means data wrangling. The next one is data blending. Now, data wrangling is one of the skills. I saw it sometimes, I think some months ago. There's actually a particular open space for data wrangling, sometimes like that. And some people feel like, oh, I don't know what it means. This is actually what data wrangling means. So you need to get that. Now, the next one is data blending. Those are part of the frameworks of standardization. Data blending involves when you join two tables together. Table 1, table 2. Joining them together means data blending. The next one is data cleaning. You know that already. When you are fixing or removing incorrect, corrupted, incomplete data, duplicates, errors, and so on. When you are doing those things is when it means cleaning, data cleaning. When you are cleaning your data, removing errors, removing null values, empty cells, all those things. Doing all those things is what we mean by data cleaning. The next one is data transformation. This involves converting data from one format or structure into another. That is, when you are removing column not needed and using the column needed, it means you are transforming that data. Do you understand? So part of it is you are transforming that data. Let's say you are converting a data type from one particular to another. It means you are transformation. It means you are transforming that data also. Now, before we go into this, let me just explain. Cleaning is important in anything you want to do. Cleaning means before you enter a particular room, what do? You clean. You make sure it's clean. So that is cleaning. So number one thing as a data analyst, you need to understand data cleaning. Data cleaning is the first thing you do before you even do anything. You clean first. Now, data cleaning using Power Query for the analysis process, we have a two process in data cleaning, which is the ELT or the ETL. I believe you are writing your notes. We have the ELT and the ETL. ELT means extract, load, transform. What do I mean by that? Don't worry, we're going to do Power Query. We'll open Power Query. Before that, you need to understand ELT and ETL, which means if I get a data set now, like the 40 rows I asked you guys to type, it's actually a data set. If I want to put that in my Power Query, and the process of me bringing it in my Power Query is what we call extracting my data. Now, load means after extracting my data, I want to do what? I want to load it in directly. I want to just load it. That is the meaning of what? Of loading. The next one, which is transformation. Transformation means, okay, I want to transform this data like you saw in the other time. You want to change the data structure, you want to do the data typing, data formatting, removing some data you don't need. You want to remove columns you don't need and leave columns you need. The period of you doing that thing is what we call transformation. So that depends on you using the three method. It depends on you using either of the processes. We have the ELT, which means you want to extract, you want to load, you want to transform. You need to inform your anybody that gave you this particular task. Probably someone gave you a particular work to tell them which format are you using. Are you using ELT? Did you use ELT or ETL? Did you extract, load, before transforming, or you extracted, you transform, and you load the data sets. So those are the things you need to understand. Now, data cleaning is essential for unlocking the full potential of data and extracting the valuable insights needed. So why do we clean data? Number one, to ensure data quality. That is, to ensure that this data is quality. You are not having empty rows. Now, when we did data collection the other time, you remember that there are some people, let's say for example, some people did not fill in some particular place. They left it empty. You need to, try as much as possible to clean that part so that you can have a quality data. Having a quality data means you're having a perfected data. So it's number one is ensure. The reason why we clean data is to ensure data quality, maintain data integrity. Is this data trustworthy? Is this data okay? That is the next one. Next one is improve model performance. The models is like the models I actually want to follow, the performance of the model. Okay, I'm having a particular data set from one table and another table. I want to join it to make it perfect. If those data are not clean, it won't be perfect. The next one is for data. The reason why we clean is for data consistency. We have data integration to reduce risks and cost. When you're having an unclean data, you are incurring a lot of risk and a lot of cost. Next one is to enhance stakeholder confidence. Now, what are the data cleaning process? Number one, missing value handling, looking for missing value, handling missing value. That is, you look for null values, you handle it. Next one is outlier detection and treatment. Like for example, like I told you, what do you mean by outlier? When something is, when you have something that is extreme. For example, you have a data set that has a column for age, and you are not saying 2, 8. You now have another one that has 34. What happens there? That 34 is the outlier. And how do you detect, when you detect outliers like that, how do you treat them? Is in different phases. Either you standardize it using your Z-score or you remove it. Those are how to treat outliers. The next one is normalization and standardization. Normalization is when you normalize your data, you make it normal. You understand? You probably, for example, there's one that is having let's say 89.00. Another one is having 89.0. You make sure they're in normal. Probably everything should be in 89.00, which is 2 decimal or 1 decimal, depending on you. Next one is encoding categorical variables. Now, we have categorical variables and we have non-categorical variables. So now you need to encode the ones that are categorical variables, that are in categories. And also we have another process is data transformation, transforming data deduplication when you're having duplicates. For example, now one thing you need to understand is that invoice ID or customer ID, IDs are one of the things to distinguish different people. Let's say, for example, like I gave you examples some other like weeks before now, like you're a customer A, from B is a customer A, B is customer B, I'm customer C. If we have a customer ID, you can enter you can enter a supermarket at any time. But the major thing is that what will make you different from you and me is that we have customer IDs, which is our distinct number. So if you are not having same name, same customer ID 3 times, which means that is what duplication. So the process of reducing the duplication and turning it to one is what we call data deduplication. You need to check that in your data. It's part of cleaning process. Next one is error correction or removal. When you are seeing errors in your data set, what do you do? Is either you remove or you correct. Check why is the error? What happened? Why you're having errors? You check. Then it's either you correct or you remove. Next one is handling inconsistent data formats. For example, what do you mean by data format? I already explained to you some times ago that you are having data formats can be in different formats. You have one that has dates, and we have dates, we have time, we have date, time, and dates can be in different in different arrangements. Some dates can be 21/8/2025. Some can be 8/21/2025. You need to use a consistent data format. If it is 21/8/2025, you want to use all through, use it all through. Let me use figures as an example. You're having one that is text and you're having one that is numbers. It's 2 different things. The system sees the one of text as a normal text, that is a normal alphabet. The system sees the one that is corrected to numbers as a number format, which calculations can be done on that. So you following those procedures, it means you are doing a data cleaning process. So now, before you do your assignments, okay, you know what? You will do your assignments. Okay, so now add this to your assignments before we now do. You've done this in your assignments, so just add this to your assignment. Now, I will just, you will do something for me. You add name column in the assignment I gave you the other time. You add name column, you add cost of goods sold to your previous data and fill in 40 different names, first name only, then perform data standardization on the data set. Do you get this question? You already have, let me use from this one. This is 40. 40, for example, this is 40. This is 40. So you just add another segment that has name. You add another column that has name. You fill in different names for this 40, different name. This is serial number, which will serve as your customer ID. So you now fill in different names. Exactly. So you've already filled in your cost of goods sold, and you fill in what else, and quantity sold. So you will now run standardization for cost of goods sold and quantity sold. This and this. This and this. That is where you run your, what is it called? That is where you run your standardization. Is that clear? The only thing you'll be adding here is name. Name will be on your B side. Name will be on your B side. Rename this serial number to customer ID. Rename this serial number to customer ID. Add column name on your B side. So you'll be having serial customer ID, name, product, product price, sale price, quantity sold, region, cost of goods sold, total sales, and balance. And I think from B, I have done the correction on your work. Yes or no? Has it been affected? So try to effect that so that I'll be having a complete and updated table. So, which means in the updated table now, I told you to make those things so that instead of we having green, we can have another colors like shows loss. We want to see losses. So it to change to customer ID. Let me just use this as an example. So this one will change to customer ID. I will perform that here. No find. Okay, I think I did not save. Don't worry. So you understand what I'm saying? Save this as customer ID. Add name. So you'll be performing Z score on your cost of goods sold and quantity sold. And before you can perform Z score, that means I must see what? I must see your what is it called? I must see your main. You need to get your main value first for your quantity sold, get your main value for cost of goods sold, get standard deviation for your quantity sold, standard deviation for your cost of goods sold before you can get your Z score. So you can have that in this format instead of you having your main underneath. To make it easier, have your main on K. You can have main, or it depends on you, how you want it. If you want it underneath, you can just put main. This one will just be main. You put main here. But the reason why I don't want you to have it down here, okay, don't worry, have it down here. Have your main here, have your standard deviation, then you now have your Z score for quantity sold. How we labeled the other time, standard, ST. You saw the way we labeled the other time. The standard deviation for quantity sold, standardization for quantity sold, standardization for cost of goods sold. You have that here. Is that clear? Is that clear? So you guys need to update your assignment. The next class will proceed in our descriptive analysis. And a lot of things we'll be doing. We'll proceed in that so that we can finish up our descriptive. So before our descriptive, in next class, you guys can note it down. We'll be having, before our descriptive, we'll be running a data cleaning on a particular data set. We'll download a particular data set and we'll run a data cleaning on it using our Power Query. So let me just quickly explain how we do our Power Query so that you can get that. So now let's say, for example, I want to perform, okay, let me have a new sheet here so that I won't be having. So we have a new sheet here and I want to perform, I've opened my Excel. I want to perform a cleaning and I want to use two methods. I told you we have two processes, ETL and ELT. So what do you do to get your Power Query? I told you we have home. I told you the function of home, insert, you insert things and the likes, page layout, formulas, data, and the likes. You have everything here. So you have everything here. So this is what will now happen. Your Power Query can be in different formats. The Power Query can be in different. We have it in. We'll be using Excel. We'll be using Excel. We'll be using a lot of things. So you come to your new query. Where did I want to bring it from? From file, workbook. Let me just look for a data set that is in workbook. I believe you know the difference between workbook and CSV. So they are data formats. Let me just look for one to just explain. Let's look for one. Okay. I think this one, let's just use for work one. So if I click on it now, it's loading. You allow it to load. It's connecting. Don't forget you click on data, new query. You click on where do you want to get your query. So it shows this. Which one am I picking? I'm picking, let's say this, for example. I'm picking this. It's loading. You wait for it to load. So now it has load. You can see this. Now you now have two things here. You know, I told you, is it ETL you want to do? ELT. If it is ELT, which means extract, I've extracted. I want to load it inside. I don't want to edit. That is ELT. But if you want to edit, you want to transform before loading, you click on edit here. I'll click on edit. So you wait for it to load. It will move to our Power Query Windows. You can see this is Power Query Windows. This is Power Query Windows. Let me just explain. Okay, should I explain this or we should do that in our next class? Should I explain this cleaning processes there or should I in our next class? Which one are you going for? Which one are you guys going for? Should we fix the cleaning in our next class? Okay, good. So now we've transformed. This is the transforming period. Now, like I told you, in your cleaning, what do? You click on this. You can observe this one has changed now. Now you click on this. When you click on this, you check under your home tab. You will see data type is in O number. Do you want it to be in O number? You leave it that way. YouTuber, you come to YouTuber is in text. Is okay. Subscriber, is it O number you want? O view, what do you want as this? O number or what? The reason why this is having 2.28 blah 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 plus 11, it means what's it called? There are a lot of zero figures. That's why it's having that 11. So we need to adjust it. Is either we clean it, you understand, or we try as much as possible to remove it or do a lot of cleaning to that. So that is video views to the data type. So if you want to remove these rows now, let's say I don't want video views, I want to remove it. You click on this, you see now on your right pan here, this is all the processes you are performing. Everything you are doing, it will be displaying here. So if I come here now and my video views, I want to remove this column. If I want to remove this column, I'll just click on remove columns. Can you see remove columns? I'll click on it. It will take it off. Boom, it's not there. You understand? So that is, let me bring it back. So if I want to bring it back, you don't use undo in your Power Query. It doesn't work. Control Z, Control Y doesn't work here. You come to your right pan here, you click on this X, it will bring it back. This is your Power Query. That is how it's done. It will bring it back. So my category is in text, my title is in text. You scroll. So this is where you remove. Let's say you don't want to, you are not making use of a particular column here. You can remove here also using your remove. You don't want to use one. So another thing is, let's say for example, you want to sort. You want to check how many of it are having this plus 11, or you want to check empty rows. Now, let's say I want to do that for video views. You click on this where you have this arrow facing down. You click on it. You can see sort ascending, sort descending. You can see the data set loading. It's loading. So this is where you see all the categories of the data set of the data under this category. You can see 0. 0 is there. 2634. So those ones that you're having plus 11, you know, I told you it's because of the 0 that we're having a lot of 0. That's why they are having plus 11. So which is this? So you can load more again to have everything loaded. So when you're not done, you click on your OK. When you're done, let's say for example you want to remove one, you click on the one you want to remove. So let's say I want to remove some parts. Let's say I want to remove 0. I will just first of all uncheck. After unchecking, I'll click on the 0. I'll click on OK. Let's say I want to check. Okay, is this 0? Oh, I have a lot of video views that is 0 views. Okay, do you need it? You don't need it. You understand? So if you feel like you need it, you don't need to remove it. So you feel like it's needed because you need to confirm. Zero views means they have no view. So it's necessary also to know those ones you are not having views. You just click on select all back to bring everything, select all back to bring everything, then you press OK. Everything will be back. So now let's say, for example, you want to check the one with, like you can see we're having empty cells here. How do you remove empty cells? First thing you need to check, how do you know you have empty? You click on same thing, the sorting or the filtering button here. When you click on it, you will be able to see, you can see blank. Blank means it's empty. So you uncheck everything first and click on that blank. Then click OK so that you can see how many blanks you have there. You can see we have a lot of blanks. Do you feel it's necessary to remove it? Is a question you ask yourself. If I scroll down, I can see, okay, I'm having blank in only, okay, we're having none here, we're having null here. So there are a lot of cleaning that needs to be done in this kind of data set. So if I want to remove this now, okay, I'm having this category, I'm having empty. You want to remove it. Don't forget that if you remove this, it's going to affect all these things. So you need to ask yourself a question which says, this empty, does it actually count? Do I actually need this category to know? Do I need this category to check? Okay, travels and events. Is it needed? Sorry. Do I need the categories? Is it needed? So those are the questions you ask yourself. Sorry. Those are the questions you ask yourself. If is it needed? Because if you remove everything, it's going to remove all the rows. So which means if I want to remove where I'm having blank now, it will remove everything. So I'll come to my, it is rows, not column. This is rows. They are rows. Column is this. So I'll click on my remove rows. You can see remove top rows, remove blank rows. I'll click on it. Remove blank rows. So it has been initiated. But the reason is that I'm having only blank rows. The reason why I did not remove it is that all these ones, we still have text here. So that's why it's not removing. So what do you now do? The best thing is that you replace. You replace all these with null. How do you replace? You just come to your find and replace. That is what you do. You replace where you have your replace value here. You click on replace value. Then you replace. Now, value to find, it is empty. Value to replace with, you can use null. Let's say I'm using null, which means it has nothing inside, null. You can use null and you press OK. Now check, you see everything has been replaced with null under my categories. And I can now check everything back and try as much as possible to get it removed. So, okay, delete. So I can check everything back. You can see we have it back in normal. So all those empty cells have been replaced with null. Do you understand? Is that clear? Do you understand? Partially. Fumbi, do you understand also, or is it partially also? Okay. So this is what will happen. To have it fully, we'll be facing cleaning in our next class. Just make sure you finish up your assignment before the next class. I think the next class is when that's next week. Okay. So make sure you finish your assignment, submit it before weekend so that I can check. So if I should check on Monday, we'll be using this same data set. We'll be performing a cleaning, a deeper cleaning here before we move into our descriptive statistics. We'll be doing a deeper cleaning on this. I'll be using this same one. I think this one it has a lot of stress. Don't worry, we'll do this so that you can see it. So we're running a cleaning using this data set that is large. You can see they have the rows here is 1,000 plus. So we'll be using this for data cleaning in our next class. So finish up your assignment, submit it before weekend. And from that, I will do the correction, send it back to you. Then next week, we'll commence with our data cleaning a particular data set like this. And after that, we'll proceed in our descriptive statistics to bring out insights using our Microsoft Excel. In the absence of no question, for now, I think we'll call it a day. See you in the next class.